Good evening, everybody. This is Lola Bhattacharya. I'm going to start the session today. Namaskar to all of you. I'm from Kolkata. I need not have to give any introduction regarding my this particular session. It's a very conducive and a very short session, as the name is Namaskar, ma'am, Bharti, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. The title itself is carrying the meaning of the session, what the session is about, and we all are actually aware of it. There is nothing new about it. But the point which we are actually getting derailed is we are unable to make the children understand the meaning of CBQs. That is the main problem which we are facing, and it is the need of the hour. And as CBSE has already said that we have to go by the CBQs, and have to give 60% and 40%. The percentage has been given 50-50. So we have to make the children understand how to unravel the mystery of uh, what is a CBQ. Now, very recently, there was a inspection of a few teachers, few principals of the CBSE, and also from our central office. They came to our branch at the Narayana branch. Somebody is there, yes. And they wanted to know that actually from the students that what actually is the meaning of CBQ. And to my utter surprise, I have seen that in my grade 12 students, in spite of my explaining them what is a CBQ, and whenever I teach, I always I frame the CBQ in situ, that means on spot, but they were unable to say the meaning of CBQ. Somebody said case based questions, somebody said competitive based questions, and this way. So I was shocked. I was sitting there, I was shocked, and I was literally introspecting. Am I wrong somewhere? As a teacher, am I, when I go to the class, that time I'm not the vice principal, am I wrong somewhere as a teacher in making them understand the meaning of what is a CBQ? Well, we are going to, over here, we are going to, I just want to give you some of the snapshots of where we will be actually getting where from the CBQ segment had started, where we had started the CBQ, the main thing, which we will be getting in Diksha. So, all of us, hello, am I audible? Yes? Yeah. Something went wrong at my end and everything went off. Uh, yeah. Is the Is the screen visible, ma'am? Yeah, it is becoming blank at my end also. Yeah, now it is visible. Um I just want to ask you to go to Diksha, and here, if you go to the Diksha platform, you will see that there is a total segment of CBQ section where from it has started. Where from it has started, the CBQ, it's first started in USA, and when the teachers actually wanted to know that what is making the USA students to go down, that is in the 1980s. That if you the link is already known to you all. If you go to the training section of CBSE in the Diksha platform, you will see there is a training section of this competency based training section is there, and then the history of CBQ is there. So it started basically in 1980, where actually the teachers urged to know that what is going wrong in the students and why they are unable to give the answers, as a result of which, when they were able to understand, they gradually implemented it in their system. And it is the Diksha app where we are seeing this particular part. Yeah, in this Diksha app, it is written here M1. here in the competency based part, if you click on this, you will see in the content list it is written how the CBQs were implemented. I don't want to spend time. I just gave you the information. Everybody can have the access on it. And if you complete this session, obviously, you will be getting the certificate also. So, as we do usually from the Diksha platform, this is basically a CBSE training. So, this is one of the information which I wanted to share with you. And then it came in the 1990s and the 21st century, when it was said that the children have to undergo through the session, the children have to understand from their intellectual level how to answer the question. It is not from the part of the teachers that we have to give them the answers. Usually we ask the question. We are saying every time it is teaching student based learning, but ultimately at the end of the day, when we are coming to find out that what we have done in the entire day, it is teacher based learning. It is teacher based learning that we have actually done, which is not at all acceptable. And ultimately, the students stand there only. We ask the question, the students answer the questions, and we stand there. So, we have to know as teacher that from a particular chapter how to frame questions. CBSE has given n number of resources where we can explore that. In the CFYQ also we can explore that, and we can easily present it to the children. In my presentation, I would just give you some snapshots. I don't want to take enough of your time because you are all skilled teachers. So this is a interaction session. I would like to say, it's not only that we are only going to say about it is also not webinar where only the teacher is saying something. So if we start from here, it's unraveling the mystery of how to frame competency based questions in class 10 chemistry. Obviously, few of us are here chemistry teachers. If not, that also will not be a problem. And when we go to the second part, is the screen visible to all of you teachers? May I have your response, please? Hello? Yes. Yeah, okay. Pushpa ma'am, thank you so much for your. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So here, when we are talking about the competencies, we are understanding the competency-based questions. We have to identify the learning objectives, what exactly we want to them. That means the skills are there. We are just knocking them. How to? That only with some few questions from class 10 chemistry, because my subject is chemistry. I want to share with you. Assessing the competencies, this is a very, very important section, whether whatever we had the objectives, we have met with it by assessing them. Kanchan ma'am, ma'am, am I visible? Visible, and am I audible? Am I audible? Because I'm not getting the answer. Okay. Thank you so much. If I'm not audible, please remind me. Then, how to integrate the competency based questions with the lesson plan. This is another very scientific way of assessing us. Assessing us means we actually want to assess us whether what we have planned, what we want to get from the children through our lesson plan, are we able to do it at the end of the lesson? And fostering the competency development, getting regular feedback. And of course, those who are unable to understand, we go for the remediation. That means we go for the extra mile, we walk an extra mile with them, and we help them out to just come out with their question. I will share some very practical practical examples which I have faced in the class very recently. Yes, the next part of this particular presentation is with the, yeah, it's coming. Hello? Yes, somebody wants to say something. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I want it full screen. Yeah. As we all know, the definition of competency, we need not have to say, competency based questions are very critical. It's based on crucial and critical. Crucial means it is very important, and critical means it is actually uh, it said na, that nothing is discovered in the world, in this universe. Everything is there. We have to just explore it, and we are not inventing something. We are just, yeah, we are just discovering, right? Absolutely right. It is there. We are just finding it out. We question the students as per their knowledge and skills as per their situation, and also cultivate the skills as per their situation, and provide a very holistic view of the student's competency. So these are very, very common things which we are actually, everybody is aware of, and we are doing it in the class. Now, very recently, I had been to the class and I was asking a student that in chemistry, you know that chemical reactions are the most important thing, right? So, what in a question would you like to make you understand that it is a chemical reaction? This was my question to the students of class 10. Immediately, one student, a very average student, he stood up and said that, ma'am, balancing of the equation. I said, okay, fine, balancing of the equation, but what is an, but if I am being taught in the class and the teacher is there, so can you just tell me what is an equation? Another student lifted his hand and he said that, ma'am, a chemical reaction. There you are. I could make it out at that spur of time that the children actually know what is a chemical reaction. Immediately, I asked another question that it's just a practical experience I'm sharing with you. But you have said chemical reaction, but can you tell me that what exactly is a chemical reaction? All were quiet. Nobody could say anything. Then, after some time, one student said that, ma'am, when one element is reacting with another element, I said, okay, fine. What is chemical reaction? Then they started shouting and saying that, ma'am, formula. Formula is the chemical reaction. If you put the formula and then, and you won't believe it, gradually, I got the answer from them that a chemical reaction. And I called the students on the board and I asked them that what you were trying to say, you just put it up on the board. And gradually they said that hydrogen and oxygen, if we react, that forms a chemical reaction. My work was done. My work was done because I actually wanted, and I said, what you are saying now and what you are writing on the board, actually, that is there in your book in the fourth page. So you have already covered the fourth page. Here I can, and they were so excited. They were so excited to understand that they have only done it and they have only made it I mean they have only understood what is a chemical reaction. Then I explained them that yes, when the compounds or elements are put up in the molecular formula, you can put it up in the word formula also, and then you equate it, you get a chemical reaction. Then come balancing. Gradually the course got the course of the session progressed when I said that, why do you balance the equation? Then they took the class 9 knowledge of atoms and molecules. Those who are chemistry teachers, they know it very well. Then they said that, ma'am, it is law of conservation of mass. So I need not have to do anything. What I saw is the children were coming up with the answers which were my objective. That was my intention. That was my lesson planning. So, while framing a competency based question, I took this point in my mind. Then I did nothing in the class. I did not write any chemical equation. I straight away took them to the lab. I did the zinc in H2SO4. That is the first question. That is the first question. I think you people are aware of it. where we have seen that it is written there, the zinc is given, and in the book it is there, zinc is given, H2SO4 is added. That I have shown it. I showed the magnesium ribbon. That was the, yes, chapter 1, Monica ma'am, absolutely right. The pictures are there. So I did nothing. I just went to the lab and I said, you know, you only said chemical formula, you only said chemical reaction, you now write it down. Now, when they were writing that zinc plus H2SO4, my first initial objective was met. When they were writing, somebody was writing Zn2SO4, somebody was writing Zn2SO4H2O. Then I came to know that where actually they are having the problem. They were having the problem in the section of, the formula. I caught it. I did not ask, the normal way of asking them, okay, children, where are you having the formula? This is the formula of zinc. This is the formula. That is imposing my knowledge on them. I did not do that. I left it to them. They wrote it. They wrote it mistakes. And somebody saying, hey, why are you writing Zn2SO4? It is ZnSO4. Somebody wrote ZnSO4 whole 2. So I got it very nicely that the children are having. So I showed three experiments: Zn in H2SO4, I showed magnesium ribbon, and I showed lead nitrate, because that color they got. Oh wow! When they saw the dazzling flame, wow, ma'am, it's like Diwali. The first thing which they said, ma'am, it's like Diwali. So this is what I took them in a different platform. I took them in the different platform, and I saw that now they are in my court. I can mold them. I converged. I converged their focus. They were focused. Then I took them to the class, and then I went for the segment of, the segment where I wanted to tell them the formula. What is the formula of ZnSO4? Why it is so? A bit of recapitulation of class 9. I just want to ask, I want to stop for a bit of time and want to ask my cohorts, those who have joined over here, what do you think? Was it a very good start of the day when the child is first learning a very heavy chapter, chemical reactions and equations? I want your vision, please, because it's an interactive session. Yes. Um, mhm. Yeah. Formula test. Okay. That's a very good idea. Yes. Mhm. Equation. So yes, and a few of them they know it, few of them don't. We have to take the normal situation that they don't know it. So we have to do that particular part, the revision part once again, because they have the idea of formula, but they don't. They get puzzled. Now also class 12 child also write Mg2SO4. So there is a question of puzzling. Yes, yes, absolutely right. This we can do, ma'am. This formula test we can do in a. This also I have done it in class, in the class. Not in the formula test as tell me the formula of so and so. Tell me the formula of so and so. What I did was I took I just sharing again sharing. So what I did was I wrote H2, and I wrote plus O2, and I wrote water, and I wrote water in another chit, three chits, and that is a class of 25 students. If it is a class of a long, I used to make them in group, and I used to give them the chits in the group, and I used to tell them that you puzzle, sort of a puzzle, and you put them together and frame the formula. So that a recapitulation of the formula, and then, as you said, a formula test can be taken. We can easily recapitulate that, and we can easily go to the second section. Here we have another part in the session, that is how when we were doing the session, the presentation part is actually getting hung. Hmm. Yes. Here we are having the segment of, yeah, yes. There is a segment of, I'll just share the screen in 2 minutes. Can you see the screen? So when this is a types of competency based questions in chemistry, the right hand side which we are having a bowl containing, it's a very knowledge based question. A bowl containing silver nitrate was kept near the window during broad daytime. What would you observe? There's a spelling mistake over here. After some time, this is a question which we used to have long back. That what happens, that photo listen, the photochemical effect, the photochemical decomposition which we had. But when we are writing as the webinar is based on competency based question framing, so we can use this particular mode of question, just a shift from the knowledge base. The same question, a chemistry teacher of class 10 took the students in the ground and gave them a colorless solution and asked them to write their names on a plain paper. Initially, the names were not visible, but after some time, the names were clearly visible. Can you account for the above observation? Do you think this application based question is relevant for their thinking skill when they have done the photochemical reaction? Teachers, I just want to have your views. They can easily account, provided they have done the decomposition part, provided they have done the decomposition part and they are able to, they can easily find it out that what exactly is happening here, because it's a colorless solution. Of course, it is AgCl, and when you are writing it, it becomes gray, photochemical decomposition. Is there any chemical? And I have observed in class 12, when this is of class 10 I'm taking. So when in class 12 I do it, they have a very natural tendency of discussing with their friends. And I think we should make them cultivate this habit. More they discuss, not making a commotion in the class, but yes, they can discuss and we can give this opportunity. Then what will happen? They will enjoy the class. And you won't believe it, when I have done, when I tell my teachers that, teachers, you do this, let them make little bit of sound in the class, but yes, not cross the limit. Let them discuss, those who are sitting together, let them discuss and have the answer, so that they don't have any problem in understanding the question. And they did it, and of course the reaction part was given. Here we have, this is a very very compact session, as I said, very in the beginning only, that by demonstration, which I said, which I took them. And of course, when the chapter anticipating, the chapter 1 is being done in the previous part class, it has been done. We can perform the laboratory experiment, and we can also, from the laboratory experiment, we can say that, like magnesium ribbon burning, what happens? It becomes a powder. Then what is the formula of the powder? Immediately they will come to know. And then what is the nature of the powder, whether it is basic or acidic, that also we can come to know by showing them. So by demonstrating the experiment, we can also see that they are only, and more they, we know that more they see, more they observe an experiment, they remember it. If we say that Mg plus O2 giving MgO, MgO plus H2O giving MgOH whole 2, MgOH whole 2 is a base, you bring a, it is it becomes very difficult for them, and they lose the interest in the class. So by demonstration we can make them understand, bring out the what are they have learned. Also by analyzing the experimental data, this is also from class 10 chemistry, that if the litmus paper is blue litmus paper is, this is the H2SO4 HCl, the FeSO4 decomposition, this particular section FeSO4 decomposition, SO2 and SO3 gas is coming out. If the paper is dry, this is also there, but this is there in the next chapter. So we can relate to the next chapter also. It's not necessary that we confine ourselves in this chapter. We can also say, oh my God, if it is not wet, then it is not changing the color. It is wet, it is changing the color. Can you tell me why? Analyzing the situation, analyzing the experimental data, they will come up. They will come up, and then we can say, oh my God, you can say this one, that ma'am, water is there, but they cannot go beyond, because acid base they have not learned. They cannot go beyond over there. So then we have to say that we will learn this in the acid base chapter. But you have observed that wet blue litmus paper will turn red, the dry will not turn. With that, another very important thing, that we can relate this chemistry, to bring the chemistry. Usually in class 12 when they come, and in class 11 they come, they get a huge jerk in the volume of chemistry and they lose the interest. So in class 10, if we can keep that interest in chemistry, you know, revived, by telling them application of chemistry in our daily life. Very important one: photosynthesis is there, respiration is there, rust is there, how combustion is related, how every day we are seeing fuel combustion, digestion, whatever we are doing in our daily life, those are all related to chemistry, those are all related to chemical reaction. And then we relate them to the photosynthesis, complete reaction. The nitty gritties are there, of course. I do agree that we have to write down the physical condition, we have to write down the state. Yes, somebody wants to share something. Yes, ma'am. Okay. May I request you to please, if you have to share something, please share, or else may I request you to please mute it. Okay. So we can relate that these are all the things which we see across, these are all chemistry. So chemistry cannot be out of our life. Gradually, we can bring them to the segment of the book through these particular what examples, right? Also, at the same time, we can also tell them that you can bring pictures of what are the different types of rusting, so they are very much aware of. Also, the silver metal, that is related to corrosion. Again, that is this chapter, corrosion is there. Again, in metals and non-metals, they have corrosion. So we can say that none of the chapters are in the NCRT book. We can also tell this to them: the children, you should not confine yourself in one chapter. You have got the linkage with the other chapters. They will find the interest. Going to the next slide. Yeah, going to the next slide. How we can align, right? The previous one. Yeah, aligning learning objective to competencies. So this was the next slide, that ensuring that the learning objectives of a course is actually being done, identifying the specific skills through demonstration, and ensuring the learning objectives are clear. So we cannot complete the chapter in a day. We can frame few questions or ask them. This also is a very good way. Ask them that this is the way, this example we can show, and we can tell them that you frame a question from any part which you have learned. Believe me, teachers, you will be shocked to see, and I think you have done this in the class. They can do miracles and they get very. And if you say that we are going to include this in the next class test, oh my God, they get so excited and they give, ma'am, we can give two questions, we can give three questions, and they will try to tell you the questions. You give one question, I will take that question. So we can we can cultivate this interest in them, and we can make them proceed with us. Otherwise, you will see you are at one side and they are at the other side, seated quietly, dumb, with their totally mouth zipped. You ask a question, they are not able to. At least they will give the try. Otherwise, they will just keep shut. It will be a one way traffic going on. So framing different, giving through examples, framing different type of questions, we can make the class interesting. We can also make them get involved in the class, which is our objective, which is the objective, and which is actually student centric. Competency is basically according to Bloom's taxonomy, Webb's taxonomy. Of course, it is a higher order thinking skill based question. HOTS. We say it HOTS and LOTS, right? So we are dealing with the designing the questions, and we are actually making the graph going up by making the class student centric, not teacher centric. It's not 1 is to 25. It should be 25 is to 26. The teacher will also be a part of it, what I feel, because I from my experience I count. I think you will be agreeing with it. And also providing some opportunities to demonstrate. You can tell the, okay, one day it will be your day, five students raise your hands and you frame the questions. You will see they will be, you can use the lab also. It is a fun, may I tell you, teachers, it is a fun to see them framing questions, and you will feel proud of it, that yes, you have actually cultivated the habit of nurturing their talents. So, validating the questions by ensuring the effective assessment. Now, this assessment part, I want to share, again tell you some clarifications I want to give you. I don't want to read the part because everybody can read what I have written. So here in the assessment, what I did was I asked them to bring small cards, right? Framing the questions, so they have now understood how to frame the questions and make getting them involved in it. Acha, another thing which I did was when I was doing the chapter acid bases, there also turmeric paper. They were asked to bring the turmeric paper pasted, and that I think many teachers have done it in the class, and doing different soap water, different type of art. So it also gave me the opportunity to put it in the AIL, art integrated learning. So, I was, they were actually, it had happened that two teachers on a particular class were absent. One was the maths teacher, which they always pray for that. And the other one is the Hindi teacher. They went to the principal and they said that, ma'am, we want ma'am's class. We want to do something. We brought something. We want to do it. And we want the period. We want 2 periods consecutively. So that gave a very good feedback to me that yes, we are actually moving towards the in the right direction. So assessing also can be done by, yeah, we were talking about assessment. Assessing can also be done by, what I did was told them that you bring cards, hmm, small cards, or you make a small chart paper, and whatever you have learned, you just give a thumbs up, or you give a thumbs down, or you make a Y chart. We have done that earlier. What you have learned and what you want to know. KWL chart. I knew this. I wanted to learn this. I have learned it. KYL chart with the Y chart we have learned a long back in from the CBSE trainings. So that also can give you the assess you. I mean, you can assess the children that what exactly they have learned and how they have learned. And I don't have the picture with me. I have deleted that picture. Oh my God, they were so excited to make it a thumbs up. They drew a thumbs up and they pictured smileys. I said that you can bring the smileys so that they can. This I have used not only, I asked my teachers to go for the junior section also. Framing the questions in a different way, asking the students to frame the questions, and then going for the assessment. Now, again, let us come back to this question, which I think the chemistry teachers have already seen it in the CFQs. In the CBSE site only it is there. Now, see the first question. Should I read it? Is it visible, teachers? Is it visible, teachers? Yes. Okay. Adding which of the following to a colorless solution would give an indication that the solution could possibly be hydrochloric acid? You see the twist in the question. Copper metal strips, silver metal strips. This is from the chapter acid, right? Calcium carbonate, sodium chloride. Isn't it wonderful, to shakening their thought process, to shaken their thought process, for shakening their thought process? Because we know very well, they know they you can also see the children have now in the half yearly examination are doing metals and non-metals also. So metals and non-metals, they know the reactivity series, they know copper cannot displace hydrogen, they know silver cannot displace hydrogen. Sodium chloride, hydrochloric acid will always form a chloride salt, so already sodium chloride is there, it cannot. So calcium carbonate is the only one answer. Colorless salt. Metal strips, so that is again, we have to knock them, we have to give them the hint. Please read the question twice. Adding which of the following colorless solution? Copper metal strips and silver metal strips will first get omitted. Why? Because those are strips. So which are the left out? Calcium carbonate, sodium chloride. So obviously calcium carbonate, because sodium chloride cannot form with hydrogen chloride, common ion effect. Common ion effect they will not understand, but we can say that chloride cannot form, chloride cannot react with hydrochloric acid. So the next question, what a wonderful question it has given. Sorry. Which of these graphs shows? These are all from the CBSE class 10 only I have taken in the CBSE side. It's not that, I mean, I just wanted to share you with you that we all have seen this, and we can actually make I don't know how many of you have will agree with me that when we used to teach class 9, in the melting point boiling point chapter, the first chapter, matter in our surrounding, I'm talking about 2018-19 when that chapter was there. Now again it has been included, but in 2021 the chapter was not there. There, in one of the book of some publication, Dinesh publication, I think I have seen a graph, A, B, C, D. Any teacher can agree with me who has seen that graph. And to find out the physical state at A, that is when melting is taking place, then it is a stagnant part, it is a stagnant graph. Has anybody seen that graph? It's going up, then plane, then up, then planes, the different states of matter at different or ice in different physical states. Has anybody seen that graph? Interconversion of physical states. Remember? Yes, ma'am, remember? But that was not there in NCRT. Huh? It was not there in NCRT, but that is basically, it was there in one of the publisher's book, and I made the children do that graph. And today, after say so many years, when I'm seeing that, CBSE is including this type of question, the graph-based question. I think many of you over here teach class 12. Have you seen the SQP of chemistry in class 12 this time? They have given the questions based on graphs. So this is a new turn in making them understand that how to not only in chemical kinetics but also if anybody is over here of class 12, they will agree with me that the SQP which has been recently being added in the website, that the graph based questions are given in chemistry. You see this question, which of these graphs shows how the pH of milk changes as it forms curd? Everybody knows that curd is actually having lactic acid. So hydrogen ion concentration is increasing, pH is decreasing. So naturally, they will with time. So they will have a, you know, this type of question. Students, those who are actually very kinesthetic, I'll tell you, I have observed it in my tenure of service, and many of you over here are maybe aged than me. They might have also got this experience. Those who are kinetics, they love this type of questions. They love to solve it because they use their brain. Others will also solve it. Again, one small question. A class 6 student once came to me and and told me that, ma'am, some teacher was scolding them. He was filling up his bottle, right? Water bottle. From the cooler, he was filling up his, and he was taking too much of time to fill up a small bottle of 200 milliliter. He was taking too much of time. Immediately, I saw the teacher shouting in the on the corridor, Bratin, why are you taking so much of time to fill up your 200 milliliter bottle? No, ma'am, coming. I could hear. I was standing on the corridor. I said, what happened? Brutin is taking so much of time. I said, okay, fine. Why, Brutin? Ma'am, actually, I have a question. I said, you were filling the bottle. What question you have? Come. I told the teacher, you please go to your class. Let me ask what the child has the question. He was observing something in the bottle. And he said, ma'am, whenever I'm putting the bottle and whenever I'm filling, and whenever I'm putting the lid of the bottle and it is fulfilled, the lid is coming out. Why? When I'm not putting my hand, then the lid is coming out. He was observing that minutely, and he had the question. And he had asked this question to the teacher, I think twice or thrice the previous day. And the teacher also told me that time that, ma'am, yesterday also he took so much of time to fill up the bottle. So he was actually having, and he's a very kinesthetic child, never sits at one place. Then I got to know the child was observing that, he was having that question, he was not getting the answer of that question. And so, when I gave the answer of the question, then he said, okay, ma'am, can I go again and see it? I said, yes, you go and see it. He was so happy, so happy. And then he started, he is a totally changed student. Now he's in class 8. He's a totally changed student. Whenever he has question, then I told the teacher, teachers don't, they go for from one class to another, they have got a separate bent of mind, and then sometimes we also get irritated when they ask too many questions, they say. I said that, beta, teachers, you have to understand that the children are having some questions. There we lack the, patience. As teachers, we lack the patience. And when we stop them, they become aggressive. They disturb others because they are not finding the interest, which I have observed these days when these competency based questions, one or two examples I gave. And then when I asked them to frame their own question, they started telling me, ma'am, if the question comes in this way, can this be the question? I said, yes, relevant one. I don't want to share all those because it will take a lot of time. So that is the way I actually think that we teachers have to cultivate the habit of within the children by showing them some examples, offering opportunities for students to reflect their own competencies, incorporating peer feedback. I also told them that you exchange your whatever you have with you in the class. I made a tag box in the class. I told the teacher, now I don't take their class, but I told the teachers, I keep on giving them some, this ideas, that you keep a tag box in the tag box in the class, and tell them to put in their this questions in them, and no need to write down the names. And the best one was given, and but the names will be written, but you have to put it in the envelope and write down the names over there. And you won't believe it, one teacher did it, and she was asked to, we are a centralized system, Narayana is a centralized system, so we teachers it is a central system makes the question paper. So when we posted the question paper to the central team, core team of question paper setter, they were thrilled, and they said that, ma'am, so many skilled students are there in the campus, please cultivate them, please cultivate their, please nurture them, please tell them that they should come forward. And they are very happy now because now their improvement in the competency has taken place. But yes, I cannot give you 100% result. I cannot give 100% result, but yes, I can produce a few. We can also track the progress. We can also see the report also, what they have using competency based question in regular progress, by giving competence. But yes, sometimes it happens. Now another thing happens when we frame questions, we always make it very hard. Competencies are not the questions which are only having some, always making hard questions. No, a MCQ also competency, the one which I showed just now, right? Assertion reason based question, it is a totally competency based question. Case based questions, normal questions, normal descriptive questions, all can be taken for their assessment, and all can be tracked to see which segment. I don't know how many of you will believe with me. I have seen initially when the assertion reason based questions were inserted, when incorporated by CBSE, children had maximum controversies in that. Teachers, please say accept, whether you are accepting this or not. Tell me. They have a huge confusion in what is assertion and ABCD, that options. Do you think, am I right? Assertion reason, because they are not quite clear about that, what is the assertion, what is the reason, making them understand, and they have got their own argument, reasoning. Ma'am, why this will B will not be the, why A will not be the correct option? Why is B? There is an ambiguity. So that is a actual area where we have to stress upon that assertion as the asserting. It's a definite statement. Reason, whether the reason is supporting that definite statement. If it is supporting, then it is option A. If it is not supporting, then it is option B. If it is false, then option A is true, B is false, option C, and A is false, B is true. Then gradually it took to at least 1 year to make them understand, especially in class 12. They have got n number of types of questions. So it is very difficult, and that is the actual area where we have to see the competencies of the children. Constructive feedback, recognizing their strength. And also, yes, for the small children, we have seen that if the question of the day or the question of the week, if we take it and put it up in the soft board in the class, oh my god, you won't believe class 6 7 children get excited like anything. And they have grown that habit of producing more, recognizing their strength, and also providing guidance on how to further develop specific competency. Of course, as teachers, we have to do that. So, we are coming towards the end of the session, and here offering those who are literally, but there are few students who will never speak out. So, by their body language, by their expression in the class, we have to understand that how we are proceeding. We have to extract them out from the class and take special sessions for them, because those are the students, those who have a tendency to drop down from the margin, 33%, because they don't understand, they don't open up, they don't reveal themselves. But if you put a pat on their back, and then if you bring them out, and then if you take remedial classes with them, they are also skilled, but they are not unable to express themselves. That is the main thing which happens. So that also we have to do, offer the remedial strategies to improve their competencies, design the questions. In some schools I have seen, in my previous school, they had the remedial question paper. Now, for class 9 and 10, giving a remedial question paper separately, that was an objection which we teachers then said that ultimately so they will be sitting for the board examination. They will not have two question papers, they will have only one. So why not we develop them? Initial stage we can give, but after, say, unit PT1 or unit 1, we should not give two question papers. We should give one question paper, standard level. That's it. That will only suffice our need. Isn't it? Teachers, do you agree with me? Is it a one way traffic going on? Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, yeah, a small riddle before concluding the session. The time is also running short. If H2A is the formula of water, riddles are very, very interesting and children like a lot. What is the formula of ice? Can anybody tell this? Very easy. If H2O is the formula for water, what is the formula for ice? Anybody? Uh-uh. Ma'am, it's a riddle. H2O, तो obviously. I'll tell you. H2O freezed. It's a riddle. So it's just a sort of a bringing making the class laugh a bit. Next one is also very easy. I may have twice the life giving gas, but I do not give life to you. However, without me, you will never have food. Who am I? What am I? Absolutely right, ma'am. Absolutely right. It is carbon dioxide, and that was just a very light session which I wanted to share with you. So, this is a quote with which I want to end the session. A teacher is a compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom in the pupils. And with that, I end my part and I stop sharing the segment. I would like you teachers to come up with any question if you have. If you have any question, you may please come up with your questions so that we can have a very interactive session. There is a feedback form which I want to share with you all. Uh, yeah, I will be giving you a feedback form where you can easily give your feedback. Okay. Anything you want to say, ma'am? Anybody? Anybody wants to share his or her experience? I would be very happy to listen to that. Yes? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is getting cut. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. I have already given the Google form where you can give your feedback. Yes, ma'am. Substitution periods again are very, very, you know, when the teacher sees the substitution copy, our teacher say, I'm absent. Please say, ma'am, that I'm absent. And they're very, very not interested to go to the. I said that substitution periods are actually the period where you can make your children go in a different way. Take them to the ground. Go there. You won't believe. Just it is yesterday's incident, ma'am. I want to share again. I'm feeling like, yes, how creative way we teach the extraction of metal. Ma'am, I'm coming to you, Monica, ma'am. There was a power cut, and there was some problem with, in Kolkata now the puja, this thing is coming up, and many other things are also there. So everything is going on, right? So there was a power cut and the generator was also not working. So I said that class 12, I was taking class 12, and that too also a very very this chapter, heavy chapter, coordination compound I was teaching. I said, chalo, today it's very hot, so let's go to the ground. And we, there's a grass ground, a big ground, so we made a circle, and children were so happy, you won't believe it, that they said that, ma'am, we are feeling so happy. And the most naughtiest one, who always says that, I will go to the toilet, I will go to the toilet, but class 12 then also, he has got some liver problem, so he drinks water and he wants to go to toilet. So I said that, no going to toilet. Now you have to do this one. I was doing the IUPAC name of nomenclature of coordination compound, complex compound, and it got it got drilled in their mind very quickly in the open air. So substitution, that was not my class actually. My physics teacher was absent, and I took them to there. So my part was also done. I hardly take their class. My part was also done. They were also happy. And after that, unless and until the power came, they asked the English teacher also that, ma'am, ma'am took us to the ground. Yes, principal ma'am took us to the ground. We also want to have the class in the ground. And 2 periods they had it in the ground. And they said that, yes, ma'am, definitely I'll send the link again. And they said that, ma'am, we enjoyed the class very nicely. Yes, ma'am, there was a question from Monica, ma'am, that how to do the, to take previous knowledge test of formula. Uh, how to start with the metals, ma'am? I think what the way long back when I first started in class 10, uh, because metals and non-metals chapter is a chapter where they have got the previous idea in class 7. Class 7 also they have the chapter acid, bases and salt, metals and non-metals. Sorry, not class 7, class 8, metals and non-metals chapter. So what I did was, I asked the children, that class 10 students, I said that, do you have, I just started the chapter with, do you have any idea of hard materials at home? And they said, yes, ma'am, table, chair, this, that, they said. I said that, and then they said, ma'am, iron rod, grill, many hard, the window grills. I said, what's the difference between them? When they started telling me the difference between them, that the table is in wooden and this, they are actually bringing the class 7 knowledge, class 6 knowledge. And then I started ask them that, which particular, then what do you think, which chapter we are going to start? This is the way I introduced the chapter. They only said metals and non, because they know after acid bases I will do metals, non-metals. But just a little bit of, kiddish way of starting, very kiddish way. And I started the chapter, I progressed with the chapter with only the properties. Come up with the properties. Now, few children, they take tuitions, they come up with electricity, they carry electricity, they are malleable without understanding the meaning of malleable, without understanding the meaning of ductility. That, that we, I had with the properties, with the physical properties, I proceeded. I think this will help to proceed with the metals and non-metals chapter. Yes, of course, reactions they have to. How creative way we are. Yes, extraction of metals. Okay. Extraction of metals. Okay, that is a very good question, ma'am. Monica, ma'am, thank you for giving me this question. I have a, very in my house, but everybody doesn't have it. I have a ore in my house, right? So I took it and one day I carried it and I went it. In my previous school also I went it. And I said that you weigh this. You have it in a hand. Today I brought something. Everybody, ma'am, it is iron. Ma'am, it is this. Ma'am, it is that. Ma'am, what is it? I would say, you're feeling like it is iron. It's there in my drawing room. So then they said, ma'am, what is it? I said, yes, it is metal, but can you see the metal? Can you see the metal? They said, no, ma'am, we can't see the metal, but it is heavy like iron. Then I took them to the normal scenario that this is the way the metals are present in the universe. This is a rock which we have got in Jharkhand. In Jharkhand, we have got this rock, and I collected it. And once I visited there, one place, and I collected it, and this is the way it is being. Uh, it is actually, you cannot see iron, but iron is there. And then what is it? It has to be extracted. It has to be extracted. So what is this? The metal from which this particular rock, from where we are getting it, that is actually the ore. And this ore is present with others. So the mineral from which metals are extracted, that is that terminology is there now. All minerals, sorry, all ores are minerals, but all minerals are not ores. That through the Venn diagram I had shown it. I made two concentric circles, and the inside circle you tell me which is the ore and which is the mineral. All alkalis are bases, but all bases are not alkalis. Venn diagram. So I think that will be helping class 10 children, not going too kiddish way and making them understand. Bharti ma'am, did you get the link, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. I took some metals and discussed the physical properties. Absolutely, ma'am. Ha. Yes. So that is the way. But the roasting and calcination, that with the flowchart only you have to show. That is no other. And yes, uh, copper one, copper where your extraction of copper is that anode mat, that I think through the video. Now everybody has got a smart board. If you don't have a smart board, you can go to your AV room and show them the video. I think because these children are all Gen Alpha, they are not Gen Z. They are going to produce Gen Alpha. So they are in the verge of Gen Alpha. So Gen Alpha, they want it in the audio visual because they have got YouTube videos many. So I think if you take them to the audio visual room, it will be beneficial for them to understand the extraction very well. And that is really very helpful if you go to it. So here we come to the end. I think I have shared my phone number and my mail ID. But then also I'm writing my mail ID. Somebody asked for it. So you can connect with me and please fill up the feedback form. Any more suggestions? Anything? Please write it there. We will. Oh, Sridevi ma'am. So sorry, we have just ended the session. I'm just closing up. I'm wrapping up. So we had a interactive session a bit. Uh, let's see how you had liked it now or not. Thank you, teachers. Thank you for being here. It's okay, ma'am. We will be having different type of sessions. I will be coming to your session, right? So thank you so much. Thank you so much, teachers. Thank you. Which video, ma'am? No, I'm saying video. I did not share anything. I'm saying the video, through the video, you can show the extraction of metals. I have not shown any video. It's just the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, okay. Today's video recording. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, 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 okay. Venn diagram, I said it verbally. Venn diagram is just to making two concentric circles. It's not the one intersecting one. Concentric circles, and you make a. Then you ask them that which is the mineral and which is the ore, right? So they will be able to say that the inner one will be ore and the outer one will be mineral. So we can also make them, when they are making they can do that, and they can make different types of circles. They can make paper cutting and make them circle. That can be an AIL also. It's a suggestion again. That can be an AIL also. They will make it very beautifully, and they will remember it. All ores are minerals, and they will remember the definition also. That the ores from the minerals from which we are getting the extracting the metal, those are ores. Yes, ma'am, I will be sharing it. This is my phone number. So can you please ping me so that I can get your phone number? And this is my phone number. Uh, I am um, sharing the PPT's last slide so that you can. Yeah, this is my phone number and this is my email ID. And if you can ping me once, that so that I can share the video to you. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.